A lot of people like to try and pull insurance scams. Two Private Eyes relate some memorable cases.
Well, let's say we've witnessed some miracles. Maybe you'd like to touch on a few of those.
Well, there's a couple of incidences I think that come to my mind, and one of them not too long ago where a chap had been injured on a work site. He was a construction worker and was unable to continue working on that site. And a few weeks later he came and picked up all his tools. And the person who employed him was concerned that perhaps he wasn't as injured as perhaps he said he was, but you know, he couldn't determine that himself. So he employed us to see if in fact this chap was working under the table. And in fact, after a couple of times observing him first thing early in the morning, we noticed that he did leave the home and that he did attend a work site. He did a few things like taking the front license plate off his vehicle, backing into a parking stall with a hedge so you couldn't see the back license plate and you couldn't see the front license plate, and obviously was concerned that perhaps somebody might be watching him, and there was, and we watched him for a couple of days, and he was certainly doing work that he wasn't supposed to be able to do, and as Wayne said, we see miracles.
We've had several cases where a spouse suspects that their partner is involved with another individual, and we will do investigations of that nature, provide photographs, video of them associating. We've even had cases where individuals are living doubled lives, living in two residences with two wives, maybe a one wife, one girlfriend, children in both parties. So those type of things that you see on television in private investigator type of shows actually do happen everywhere, anywhere, and they happen right here as well.
Another instance where we had a chap who was totally disabled and was going for 100% disability pension, and moved from a location up to Courtney area, and was supposedly not able to do any type of work, especially lifting his hands and arms above his head. And we observed him for 2 or 3 days, and he did numerous things like riding a bicycle, hanging up camping gear on a clothesline and that sort of thing. Actually, one of the funniest things about that particular job was that we actually saw him walking from where he was staying to a telephone booth and making a telephone call to the person who asked us to watch him, and on that phone call he was telling him that he was in bed, he couldn't get out of bed, he was totally disabled that day. And in fact, when the client watched the video and said, well, gee whiz, you know, he says that was the day that he was talking to me on the phone and told me he was in bed. And we had observed him doing numerous things during that day.